Hello, and welcome to What's Your Story. We're so fortunate today to have as our guest an author by the name of Russell Bush. And Russell is in Thailand right now, so we're interviewing him all the way from Thailand. And Russell is a creator of fantasy, action, and comedy plot lines. And his passion is to take readers on an unforgettable adventure away from any monotony or discord of daily life. Russell, so nice to have you with us. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, very nice to be here.
Thank you. Thank
And
you. Go ahead.
you, I was just saying, that was a great intro. I love how you put that. That was a good way to say that. I like to make a fantasy and just take you out of your norm.
Yes, and you do that well with your book. I have a copy of your book right here. It's entitled Legends, The Prophecy of
Hero.
Heroes. Legends, The Prophecy of Heroes, right?
That's correct.
So tell us a little bit about the book. I know a lot about it, the book, because I read it many times, but tell us a little bit about the book and tell us why you wrote it. That's one of the things, other than just helping people get away from the monotony of everyday life. You know, I'm fascinated with your brain because as I read the book, I'm just fascinated that you could come up with all the characters and the critters that you came up with. So tell us about the book.
Well, I just have a crazy mind, I guess. I, uh, I don't know how other authors write, but when I write, I just kind of write from what I'm thinking, and just I don't know. I kind of write as if it's a movie. I picture a movie, and then I just elaborate and go wherever it takes me. Um, so pretty much this book, I just started writing, kind of like Forrest Gump. I just started writing, and kept writing and writing, and then um, once it was going somewhere, then I would brainstorm and figure, how to make everything come together. And I don't have a little bit of analytical mind, so um, like I put a lot of thought into the details and the timeline and flashbacks. Like I'm a bit of a, I love reading, but I love movies and shows too. I'm kind of a show buff. So I did a lot of flashbacks that are similar to if you watch Flash or Arrow or something like that. But the book involves a lot of like things that I've gotten from all the entertainment I've watched. So I don't know, it's a lot. It's interesting how it all came together. And
Now, now it seems to take place in two countries. Which countries? Or two worlds?
so it two worlds. So it's an Earth and the world of legends. And the world of legends is, I created my own world, and then that's the world with the creatures and things that I created that aren't in Earth. It's kind of I mean, I don't want to. I would say the best way to similarize it would be like the Lord of the Rings, um, and there are some similarities to the Lord of the Rings, but I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, so I swear anything that's similar wasn't intentional. I just it was like I was just writing, and then everything came from my subconscious, and I think some things. Um, it just at times it's a little bit similar, but it's completely different. I mean, everything was completely created uh, from my brain. So, but I think there was some. My point is there's some subconscious aspects
Yes,
involved from the
yes,
things that I.
yes. You didn't intentionally make it like the other book. Is that what you're saying? Or,
But there are some similarities,
yeah, well,
minor.
I think there are similarities. Anytime we write something that's otherworldly, because we don't really know what the other world really is. So it's in our imagination. And a lot of that probably comes in our imagination from the things that we've watched and seen as we grew up, and stories that were told to us, and
Right.
legends, in other words. That I love that you named it Legends. It's a great name. Now you're originally from Los Angeles, but you were an elementary school teacher at one time. So is this book designed for young people, or is it for adults, or is it for both?
I would say it's for both. Um, Anyone with a creative mind and likes a fantasy type of epic story that involves. I mean, there's all aspects in the book involving like military action, superhero type of special powers, action. There's a little romance, and I mean, you always have to have a little a loved one involved, and some comedy aspect, and
Well, you even have theater. I love the one part where they're I don't know exactly where they are, but they're at some event and there's a puppet show
oh,
going on, and that was quite interesting as well. I found that
yeah,
now you were not only making up the characters of the book, but you were making up the characters of the puppet show that the people in the book were watching in the puppet show. So and all of the dialogue, it's just, how do you think up all of that stuff? You're amazing with your brain.
explain it. But it reminded me of that it was a quite a fun scene to write. So that I just pictured as if I was a stand-up
Hmm.
comedian, and just wrote from two perspectives of the audience, and then created, if I was, because I aspired to be a stand-up comedian at one point. I just I could never I can never picture myself doing it and standing up. I think I would have an anxiety break standing up and trying to
Yeah,
perform
yeah.
comedy. I mean, a lot. There's a lot that they do, just to um, time
I think
everything.
I
And
think you have a lot of courage to stand up there.
so that was my time to shine as a comedian. I just put it in the book.
Well, you did a really good job of that. But I just wanted to run by you some of these characters that critters, not characters, but the actual creatures that you came up with. You had a roke, Roak, roke. Is that how I say it?
Yeah,
Um,
rope.
yeah.
So
What?
they're they're like the indigenous creature from legends, and they're
Oh,
like a humanoid. They look human, but they're slightly different. But they're stronger.
yeah.
And
And then you had a creature called a hairy
yeah.
creature. Yeah.
uh So again, so there's a bunch of creatures, but I would similarize that as a hobbit, but very hairy,
I
kind
see.
of.
I see. And you had an Evo, which was a creature about 3.5 feet tall that was mixture of like a fox and a human sort of one.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
really
So
cute.
some of the creatures. So I created different animals too, like combined
Yeah.
uh, animals, just different types of animals on the world. And like one is a monogator, which is
Yes.
just it's not very involved in the story, but just an example. So it's like a monitor and an alligator combined, and then
So like a
there's a
monitor lizard and an alligator, right?
alligator. So and there's a
Yeah.
scene with them, and
And you had a scorpula. Is that kind of like a scorpion and something else?
yeah. So was it Scorpio?
It's like a tarantula. You
Yeah,
said it was like over 1,000 pounds or something.
I'm
That had to be
trying
a
to
big.
remember. I'm trying to remember the type of insect that it's similar to. I think it starts with a W. I can't remember, but it looks like a cross between a spider and scorpion.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just amazing. I mean, because there must be 25 or 30 of these different creatures that you made up in your brain, and I'm just fascinated with how you do that. How do you come up with these combinations of animals to make a new animal like you did? It's kind of fascinating.
Thank you. I just sit there and like I just think, and then sometimes it just comes to me, and then I pause. I take a moment, maybe a few minutes, and think about. So when I'm thinking like it's kind of a movie happening in front of me. Then I just picture what would be interesting, what would be entertaining, and then it comes to me. Sometimes I have to Google a few things.
Uh-huh.
Google will and that, and then be like, oh, that would be good. And I think, but then I have to create like how it would go together in the story, be
Yeah, and
entertaining.
see how they fit, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Now,
a lot. Sometimes I just sit and it keeps coming. I don't know, but I have to keep. Like I said, when I started writing it, I was just elaborating, and then I realized how complicated it was getting, and then I had to stop, take some notes, and so as it got more complicated, I just had to notate a lot of things and make sure everything made sense. That's why I don't know if they know you were the editor of this book, so we went over it a lot of times, and that's what I was doing when we were going over it. So it was just really I wanted to make sure everything made sense, and like I'm a big critic, so and I'll complain to myself when I'm watching shows or reading something, and if it doesn't make sense at the timeline, and they were 10 years off, or this doesn't, that wouldn't happen in real life. Like it's a little bit irritating to me. So I took a lot of time to try to make that as realistic and like meet with the timeline and try to be make sense and not just be like something that because a lot of times you read something and you're like they just put that there to like as filler, like they're just trying to write something, they're just trying to put something in there because they couldn't think enough. Maybe they just were it was they kind of ran into a dead end here and then just kind of threw that in to get to the next point to the next spot. And it's like, oh, that
yeah.
didn't make
Now
sense.
your story makes sense. It goes from one scene into the next. They transition well. I think they transition very very well, and it's you never lost me with your characters. I knew who I was reading about when I was reading. That's important. Sometimes
Right.
people write and then you kind of get lost. You think now who are they talking about now? But you didn't do that. You kept us right there involved in it. And one of the things I really liked, and I think it's particularly of interest to women readers, is that you included some strong, brave young women heroes, warriors. These women were warriors. What made you do that?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't think that was anything out of the ordinary. Honestly, I just made characters, and obviously women are going to be involved, and I don't have anything against a tough woman. Like there are some tough women. Well, I've learned that
Your
from
women,
experience.
though, even though your women were tough in here, they were very feminine. They were sexy and pretty, or
Right.
at least that's
Yeah.
how I read them. They were described that way.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I mean, I do like women. so so I mean, I could say is that's just how my mind brought it out, because you know Uh, a good character is, I mean, you don't have to be a beautiful woman, but, you know, good looking
Well,
girl who can kick butt. That's,
you're
not a bad thing.
no, not a bad thing at all. It's actually very good. Your story goes from folklore to romance to family sagas to the intricacy of the other world to war. It was fascinating, and the man taking his son along, and I mean there was so many parts of real life that you had into these characters from this other world. It was done very well, and I'm just fascinated with how and the audience knows that I'm a writer, and I predominantly have always written self-help until after I worked with you, and then I thought I'm gonna see if I can write a novel, and so I've written a novel now, and let me tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy. So when I see how you did this, and it just seemed to come off of your head and like right onto the page, I want to know how to do it like that. That's You really did it well, and I'm very impressed with the book. I loved it.
But thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I can't explain it. I just, I just think and write. And a
Just
lot
think
of
of
it, I mean, it was, I've had a lot of jobs. This was my first book. I'm currently working on another one, and I have started. I've got about 100 pages of the prequel to this one, um, but it was really fun. All the other things I've done in my life, and like a big part of it that I loved was like when I would go to sleep. Like a lot of it would be me thinking at night. So I would write, I don't know, 2 to 4 hours, depending on how I felt. Uh, but then I would be thinking about it throughout the day. But then when I would go to sleep, like usually, I don't know, a lot of people, and I've had issues in my life sleeping, so, even recently, some I'm kind of a little tough sleeping. You don't know why. Sometimes you just think about something subconsciously or whatever it may be.
right.
But I enjoyed going to sleep because I was thinking about what was going to happen next, and that was like really enjoyable for me. So then I would think for an hour, a couple hours, or something. I don't know if any of it actually went into my dreams because I don't remember much of my dreams.
Yeah.
But then when I would wake up, a lot of times it would just flow because of thinking about it overnight. Yeah. Sometimes it wouldn't know. Sometimes I'd run into a little block, you know, but then I would just think
You
about it.
think you did ever experience writer's block during the time you were doing this?
I think there was one time I can't remember, once or twice. I can't remember the specific time. It was probably a transitional point, but not really. It was just it was just very enjoyable. The part that wasn't enjoyable was editing it for a year. That was
That was a lot of work, wasn't it? But that's what makes a book really good. I think a lot of times nowadays with people who are into writing, they're writing for the first time, or because now we don't have to have a publisher like we did years ago. You had to, if you wanted to get a book out into the marketplace, you had to get a big name publisher to accept it, and so it was harder. So today a lot of people write a book and they put it up on print on demand, and they don't edit it, and then you buy that book and it's not very good. It's got all kinds of grammatical mistakes, and they've got all kinds of mistakes in the landscaping and in their characters. I mean, it's just sometimes they aren't very good. And you went to the trouble to have this professionally edited and rewrite and rewrite and rewrite until this book is amazing. I mean, it's really good. It flows well. It's well written, and so I think I can really congratulate you for that because after I read this book so many times during the editing process, I went back, put it aside for a few months, and went back and reread it as just a reader reading this book. And I loved it. I loved it. And this is not the kind of book I normally read. I wasn't like a big fan of Lord of the Rings or of any of those types of books. I'm not a sci-fi sort of person either. And so when I read this and I fell in love with it, it was because it's well written and the characters are people we can relate to, and some of the men in here are men I would dream about in my dreams. As I was growing up, these would be the kind of men I would go, oh, that one would be pretty nice. And then you had all these little characters and critters, and so it's just it all came together so well. That's the thing I love about the book. It really came together well. And this is your first novel. This is amazing. And how many pages is it? It's like 500 and something pages.
So yeah. Well, I was kind of my goal was I wanted. I looked at like how long Game of Thrones was. Those are super long.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. So it's about as long as the first Lord of the Rings novel. It's around that. I think like 125 to 150,000 words, something like that.
Yeah, it's an amazing book. It's very, very well done. And I liked kind of like how it started out, and you talked about the prophecy of heroes, and you talked about a scroll, and you actually made the scroll on the page. You can't really see it here on the TV, but you actually made a scroll, and so instead of just reading what might have been on the scroll, we actually read the scroll, so we got right into it right away, and I think you know how to pull people in. You know how to tell a story. Were you a big storyteller all your life? Were you a child that told whoppers?
Not really. I was not the best storyteller, to be honest with you, because you have to articulate it on the spot and then hit the timing. I think that kind of goes with the like stand-up comedy. For me, it's a lot easier for me to put it on paper and then take time to make sure it's what I want it to be and what I would want to say. Like I would probably wouldn't articulate it right on the spot the way I could put it down on paper to be exactly what I want, or at least close to what I want exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were teaching elementary school, did you tell students did you tell them stories like this? Did you make up stories for the students?
No. Actually, I taught autistic kids, so they were anywhere from 12 to 21 years old.
Oh my
It was a
goodness,
vocational. Yeah. But so there weren't too many stories being told.
yeah. Okay.
It was um, behavioral management, obviously, and then working on IEPs, individual education programs with each student.
Right.
So I mean, I did do activities, group activities where I guess storytelling.
Yeah, I had a feeling that you tell more stories than people know or than you admit to. Um,
Maybe when I have a couple of drinks, it comes out.
yeah, yeah. What I just where are you going next? What are you going to do after this? You said you think you've started a prequel to it because the story pretty well begins and ends, and it is there a backstory? Is there something that we should know before we know these people?
Well, I mean, I just wish everyone could read it as you have, and they could see it, and because you've given me so many compliments, it's amazing. It to be honest, didn't have a lot of money to promote it, and I had to work, so wasn't able to even physically promote it much besides the financial aspect of it. So I don't know. I just wish I wish a lot of people could read it as you have and see that, because you're the only one. You know, not a lot of people have seen it, so I haven't gotten that feedback from anyone
Right. Right.
but you, and it
Well, then
feels
maybe
so good.
we better work on a new marketing plan.
I feel the same way. I feel like, but obviously I'm biased, but I just feel like there's just, how could people not like this? You know, because it, like you said, it makes sense. It's so entertaining in so many different aspects: romance, comedy, action, many different kinds of actions, fantasy, even like Indiana Jones type stuff.
Yes.
There- There's even like, so I love Zelda. There's like game aspects in it. So I was picturing when they were, so they all have their own weapons, and it connects with the gemstones in the world, and you know it's like the fire, air, water type thing, and then
Right.
but the weapons connect to them if they depending on what they connect to, like which gem, and but so when they, back to what I was saying, so they each have to get, at some point in their lives they found their weapons, you know,
Yes.
and then not every weapon connects to them, was what I was trying to say. So I do flashbacks to where, at the point when they found their weapon, and then when I did those flashbacks, I pictured kind of like going through a level and you know, beating the level kind of, or getting through the level and then earning the weapon. So like I was picturing a game, kind of Zelda, basically, because like Zelda, you earn the higher sword, you get through the maze and the castle, and you get the weapon. So that's kind of what I was picturing. I just thought it was pretty cool. But it's kind of like Indiana Jones too, where like they have to figure out puzzle, not a lot of puzzles, but like they have, like they're running the scriptures, and then that's the clue on how to get through that level. And then like it's a level, or I mean not level, but like the, can't say the cavern or something. And so it's like, but he gets into this cavern. There's no floor, but that scripture is the clue on what he needs to do to get to the other side of the room, of the cave.
Right.
And then you can see like the weapon over there. But so yeah, so I did flashbacks that are like that. So it's just
And that
really,
would
there's so many different aspects that it's like, I don't know, is it, I just thought, is it too much? I don't know.
I don't think
It
so. And
just,
I think that aspect would be particularly interesting to people who are into the zodiac signs, because you connect the weapon and again, you invented these weapons, you made them up and they're fascinating. So, I mean, I would think that people would people would just really jump on this, but I think the trouble is, Russell, the book hasn't had enough exposure for people to
yeah,
really know what you're offering, because you're a very good writer and the book is exceptional. And I think if we could just get it out there to where people see it and read it, they're going to love it, because it's an interesting thing. Maybe we better start looking at some book clubs and see if we can get it in front of some of them.
yeah, we'll do whatever we can do. Let's do it. But I am in Thailand, so we'll see.
Well, you're in Thailand
Thank
right
you.
now, but you'll be coming back this way someday, right?
Of course. Now to answer your question, so I did start the prequel. I don't know if you remember, we ended it the way the book ends.
Hmm.
Um, actually ends, it's leading to the third one, because the third one continues from that point. The second one is the prequel, with which connects with all the flashbacks that I do. So that was another thing I tried to, because I had in mind that I was going to do a prequel through while writing the book. So um, So, so the prequel is just connect with all the flashbacks, a lot of the flashbacks that are in.
Yeah, you
So,
know,
which
that's a real art to put flashbacks into a story like you did. That's a real art. And I think the prequel would be really interesting because the flashbacks are interesting.
right, yeah, and that's why I thought that would be more of an interesting aspect was that you can literally when you're reading the prequel, we get to that point, you can open up the first book and then be like, oh yeah, oh he mentioned that, oh
Yeah,
that that, oh that's when that happened was
yeah,
here, or even when Naru, because the prequel is about Naru, he's the right now he's the royal mystic, he's the like the dad of the other main characters, the real powerful guy. So the prequel is about him when he was the characters that are there when he's
uh,
their age. So they're all 20 to 30, 20, 25 or something. And Naru's, I would say, like 50 in the book. So the prequel is about when he's their age. And then
right,
everything that happened then, with the bad, people that they fight. She's actually Piranha.
right,
She'll be younger, and then that's when everything happens that is talked about in the first book, which is why she was in her situation that she came out of in the book. It's hard to talk about it, not
I
get
know it's
things
hard to
away.
talk about it without telling people about it, and you don't want to tell people about it because then it'll ruin the surprise. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
it's
another thing I like to mention, I'm just thinking about is I when I wrote it, I tried to. So I hate reading a book. It takes 3 chapters to get into. It just feels like kind of work. Try to get into the book. So I tried to just write. I started with action, and then I kind of just bring the characters in while the action's happening, and then it slows down later. So my big idea was to just start with action and then try and get people right into the story.
yeah,
I don't know how well it worked though, to be honest.
yeah, I think it worked great. But I'm prejudiced, like I said, I'm your biggest fan, so I'm a bit prejudiced here. But I think you've done an amazing job on it. And we're running out of time, so I'm going to have to say goodbye. But I do want to say to the audience, it's called Legends: The Prophecy of Heroes, and you can find this book on Amazon. And if you'd like to contact Russell, how would someone contact you if they want to get in touch with you for an interview or something?
I would say email, um, going back to Hawaii at
Going back to
Gmail.
Hawaii.com
Going back to Hawaii at gmail.com
at
would be,
gmail.com. Okay.
yeah, that would be great if I can get
Okay.
some emails or someone that's
Yeah.
interested or yeah, whatever.
Or maybe someone would like to do a movie from it. Then
That
they
would be
should be able to
amazing.
contact you. Or they could contact me and I can contact you, whatever. But
Oh my God, well,
I think it'd make a great movie. I really do.
too. And thank you for all the compliments. I really appreciate it. It's flattering.
Well,
Make
it's
me
not.
want to go start writing right now.
Okay, get busy because it's not just flattery. It's a great book, Russell. You have a wonderful time in Thailand. Come back and see us real soon and keep in touch, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And thank
Bye.
you for joining us today and keep in touch as well for What's Your Story.